13% of GLP-1 users reported anxiety or depression. But here's the part the headlines aren't telling you about.
Straight shot.
I'm Dr. Clete Barrick, dual board certified in internal medicine and obesity medicine. I've treated thousands of patients on GLP-1 medications, peptides, and medical weight loss therapy. This is Straight Shot, the science of weight loss explained by a doctor who lives it. Quick note, everything on this show is for education only. It is not medical advice for your specific situation. Always talk to your prescribing physician before making any changes to your treatment. Welcome to Straight Shot.
A huge study just dropped in Nature Health. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania used AI to scan over 400,000 Reddit posts from over 67,000 patients taking Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, or Zepbound. That's 5 years of data, and they found side effects that are not on the label. Now that made headlines everywhere. Fox News, CNN, Medscape, and every single headline said the same thing. Hidden side effects. Doctors are missing. I prescribe these medicines every day. I take tirzepatide myself, and I need to walk you through what this study actually found, what it means, and what every headline got wrong. I'm Dr. Barrick, board certified in internal medicine and obesity medicine. Everything I talk about today is educational. It's not medical advice for your specific situation. Talk to your own doctor before changing anything. First, let me explain why this study exists, because the methodology is the whole point. In a clinical trial, side effects are captured using a checklist, a predetermined list of symptoms that doctors ask about at scheduled visits. If menstrual regularity is not on the checklist, it does not get counted, even if the patient experiences it. This study did something totally different. They turned AI loose on 5 years of Reddit posts. No checklist, no prompting, just thousands of people describing what they were actually experiencing in their own words. The AI then translated casual language into standardized medical terminology. Someone posting, "I have freezing all the time since I started my shot," gets mapped to the same code a doctor would use to report a temperature-related adverse event. That is a fundamentally different way to listen, and it is why this study matters. The good news first. The stuff we already know about showed up loud and clear. Nausea, vomiting, constipation, diarrhea. That tells you the methods work. The AI is picking up real signals. If it only found things we had never heard of, you really would need to question the data. But it found the known side effects at rates that closely matched clinical trial data. That is validation. Now here is where it gets interesting. 4% of users who reported side effects mentioned menstrual changes, irregular cycles, unexpected bleeding, changes in timing, and this is not on the Wegovy or Zepbound label. Here is what I want you to understand. When you lose 30 to 40 pounds rapidly, your hormones shift. Fat tissue is not just storage, it produces estrogen. Drop the fat, drop the estrogen, and your cycle responds. That happens with any form of rapid weight loss. Bariatric surgery patients see this, extreme dieters as well. So it's a weight loss side effect, not necessarily a drug side effect. Does that mean we should ignore it? No. It means your doctor should be asking about it, and most are not. People are reporting feeling cold all the time, chills, hot flashes, and this one I do hear constantly. My patients bring this up really weekly. GLP-1 receptors are in the hypothalamus. That is the part of your brain that regulates body temperature. You are also losing insulation, literally, like fat is like a thermal blanket. So lose the blanket, feel cold. Add in reduced caloric intake and your body is generating less heat from digestion. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it dangerous? Almost never. Is it something your doctor should warn you about? Absolutely. Fatigue was the second most reported symptom overall, 16.7%, and it barely registers in clinical trial reporting. So this one frustrates me because fatigue on a GLP-1 almost always has a fixable cause. Not eating enough, not drinking enough water, not hitting your protein target, crash dieting on top of a medication that already suppresses appetite, or running up on the dose too quickly. Your body is not getting enough fuel, and it's telling you that. The fix is not stopping the medicine. The fix is making sure that you're able to eat enough food. And that is a conversation that takes about 5 minutes in a clinic visit. Now the big one, 13% reported psychiatric symptoms, anxiety, depression, insomnia. It honestly sounds scary, and every headline treated it that way. But I want to point out something about this specific finding. This study measured anxiety levels in people who spend a lot of time on Reddit. My anxiety also tends to spike the more time I spend on Reddit. I am not being dismissive. I am making a real methodological point. There is no placebo group, no control. There's no way to separate the drug from the platform, from the weight loss, from the pre-existing condition. There's a lot going on here. Here is what the clinical data actually shows. A 2026 study in the Lancet Psychiatry followed over 95,000 patients. Semaglutide was associated with a 42% lower risk of worsening mental illness. A 2024 study in Nature Medicine found a 73% lower risk of suicidal ideation compared to other weight loss medications. Multiple meta-analyses show no increased risk. What I see in my own patients is not medication-induced depression. It is what I call emotional unmasking. The food noise quiets down, the coping mechanism of food disappears, and the feelings that may have been hiding behind the eating come forward. That's not a side effect. That is a therapeutic process revealing what needs attention next. And it does need attention. And if your prescriber is not asking about your mood, that could be a problem. If you're looking for a physician who monitors all of this and more, not just your weight, the link to book a free consult is in the description. The word hidden is doing a lot of heavy lifting in these headlines, and it's the wrong word. Menstrual changes on rapid weight loss, not hidden. Expected. Temperature sensitivity after losing 40 pounds of insulation, not hidden. Predictable. Fatigue when you are eating 900 calories a day, obvious. I wrote about every single one of these in my book before this study came out. Not because I'm smarter than any of these brilliant researchers, it's because I listen to my patients. And any physician who manages GLP-1 therapy full-time has heard of all of this thousands of times. Every one of these earth-shattering new side effects already covered in detail in the GLP-1 Bible, written well before this study was released. If you like that level of detail, the link's in the description. The real finding of this study is not that these side effects exist. It is that the system for catching them is broken. Clinical trials use checklists. Patients experience symptoms that are not on the checklist. Those symptoms go unrecorded and hidden. And then a study has to go mine Reddit to actually find them. That's the story, not hidden side effects. The system was not built to listen to you. The biggest risk factor for side effects on a GLP-1 is not the medication. It is unsupervised prescribing. Getting a prescription through an app with no follow-up, no lab work, no body composition monitoring, no one asking if you're eating enough protein, mood, hydration. So that's a problem. When I start a patient on tirzepatide or semaglutide, we closely monitor all of these variables and more. That's not because I read about it in a study. It's because I ask every visit. The side effects in this study are real. They're just not hidden. Not if someone is actually paying attention. If you found this useful, subscribe. I put out evidence-based GLP-1 weight loss and peptide content every week from someone who is actually on the medication, not just reading about it. And if something feels off while you are on one of these medicines, say something. Not on Reddit. Talk to your doctor. That is what they are there for. I'll see you guys in the next one.